Hello everyone, welcome back to an update video, an update forecast on the impending storm for northern New England, northern New York. Let's get right into it. There's a lot of winter weather advisories, middle of the country. These winter weather advisories turn to winter storm warnings as you go further east, as the storm begins to strengthen. A lot of winter storm warnings starting in northeastern Ohio through extreme northwestern Pennsylvania, through a good portion of northern New York and northern New England. So this is going to be a rather high impact event. For the date is November 11th, so a rather high impact event for November 11th. And you see south of these winter storm warnings, you have some winter weather advisories populating the weather forecasting offices. So a big winter storm, big impact spanning from Oklahoma to the Canadian border. So yeah. So right away, here's the national radar, the current national radar. You see a lot of this is snow, the smoother values. A lot of this is snow or maybe some ice down into central Missouri, southern Illinois. Definitely going to get some ice in there. Down here, where you have what looks like popcorn cells, just some areas of convection. These are more or less going to be rain, but our main storm that we're focusing on is right here. This is the axis of snow, and you see some heavier bands just traversed through Chicago, now going through uh, northern Indiana, central Illinois, about to make it into northwestern Ohio. So definitely a decent storm setup. You have a low pressure developing somewhere within Kentucky right now. That's going to be making its way northeast, going right through New York, Philadelphia, Boston, and going to be a decent amount of snow to the northwest. So this was my forecast from yesterday that I released at 2 p.m. Yesterday. This is a little bit outdated, so I did update it. Generally, the same idea though. Heaviest snow going to be well northwest of major cities, I-95 into Buffalo, Syracuse, the Adirondacks, northwestern Vermont. Pretty much the same idea as yesterday. I did remove the 12 to 18 inch contour, but I definitely think you're going to see some values of 12 to 14 inches somewhere in here. I just don't think it's going to be too widespread. I think models definitely backed off that idea a little bit. Um, Overall, the overall axis has shifted a little more southwest to northeast as compared to this was a little more west to east. It's a little more flatter. If you take a look at the 8 to 12 contour from yesterday, I moved that more southwest to northeast. So now northern Maine and western Maine are not in the 8 to 12 inch contour, more 5 to 8, 3 to 5. Still a decent snowstorm there for November 11th. Some other things that I did end up changing was I removed this contour from northeastern Pennsylvania, the 1 to 3 inch contour, and I moved out the 3 to 5 and 1 to 3 inch contour from northwestern Connecticut and western Massachusetts. I just don't think it's going to snow there long enough in order to get those amounts. But there was a chance yesterday, but definitely have backed off that. As you can see, confidence is rather high for this storm. We know where the biggest and the most likely axis of heaviest snow is going to be, ranging from northwestern Pennsylvania, excuse me, all the way up through northwestern Vermont, the Adirondacks. Some moderate impact event. A lot of major cities are in on this. The two biggest are Syracuse and Buffalo. Besides that, a lot of the major cities, Pittsburgh, Scranton, Albany, could expect an inch or two at most. Bangor is the exception. I would think about 2 to 3 inches there. Albany about an inch. Scranton, coding to an inch. Now for your major cities, I-95, DC, Philly, New York, Hartford, Boston. I definitely think you're gonna see some flakes, maybe a coating, and in some spots an inch, especially a little further northwest of I-95 in northwestern Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania. I definitely think you could see an inch at most in a lot of those areas. So here's a forecast from yesterday, forecast from today. Generally the same theme, same idea. A little bit different oriented, heaviest axis snow, but generally the same idea. So another threat I want to get into is the icing threat. So you could see here is the current radar from the NAM. It's a little bit off, but you could see some ice start to developing. Now this pink is freezing rain. The salmon color is going to be sleet. The pink is what I really want to focus on here. As you can see, as the storm's developing, moving northwest, you start to get little pockets of ice starting to develop. And as we move further in time, these pockets can form, and you have uh, rather moderate to heavy freezing rain in a lot of these areas. Hudson Valley is a big one, parts of the Mohawk Valley, as cold air gets trapped in the valley, and the mid levels are warm enough to melt those snowflakes into rain, but the lower levels are cold enough to freeze that rain on impact in the valleys. So you get a decent amount of ice through northern Pennsylvania, through the Hudson Valley in New York, and then that starts to traverse east, and you're getting at least a few hours of ice through eastern Vermont and New Hampshire, parts of Maine. Looks more sleet in Maine than ice, as they have a thicker level of cold, but still probably going to cause problems nonetheless before at the end everyone does change over to snow. And you could see even a little sliver of snow here through DC, Philly, New York. Boston will get into it in a couple hours after this. Drop maybe a coating to an inch at most in those areas. So I did make a threat map for ice, and here's my threat map. The two pockets I want to focus on are northern and a little western Pennsylvania for some moderate icing, and just north of Albany, east of Syracuse, southern New Hampshire, southern Vermont for another pocket of moderate icing. Nobody should be getting too much. I think there's going to be a widespread glaze. However, in these pockets, you could expect up to a tenth of an inch of ice, if not isolated a little bit more. We'll take a look at the NAM here. Freezing rain total. Yeah, that pretty much agrees with my ideas. Widespread glaze, pockets on northern western Pennsylvania and southern New Hampshire. Could get a little bit more. These darker colors are a quarter to half an inch, but I think that's overdoing it a little bit. The NAM tends to overdo ice sometimes. So that's the update. This is the going forecast, and follow my Twitter at MikeBWeather for updates on the storm, up to the minute updates. And that's it. Everyone stay safe and have a good one.